Do you have cabinets that look like this but want to get them to this? Then keep watching. In this video, I'm going to show you how to prep stained old cabinets and bring them to paint grade to bring your home value up at least 10%. That's the new trend. Everybody knows that. Everybody loves some bright cabinets. So why not jump in the trend? I'm going to show you what kind of grain filler you need, how to prep them, how to prime them, what kind of paint to use. So stick around to the end of this video, you're not gonna wanna miss it. Okay, the first step is always protection, which thank God my dad didn't have, or else I wouldn't be here. Well, you need to make sure to protect everything that's not getting painted. We start by covering the floors before even bringing any equipment in, since you can scratch them and there's no going back in time. We use the X paper, which is thick like Rihanna and will protect you better than Chris Brown. Lay that down on the floor, and a quick tip is to put double tape around the baseboards first. That way you can put a stronger tape on top of a delicate tape so you don't remove the color or top coat of the wooden floors. If they're brick or concrete, you don't need to use a delicate tape. If you only single tape, then after walking around just for a few minutes, everything will come off like Tekashi did from jail after snitching, fast as hell. Well, back to masking. After the floors are well covered, then start bringing your ladders and equipment in. It's secure, stay liquid. That's what the boys at SWAT say. My bad, I got distracted. But we then proceed to uninstalling the doors and drawers from the cabinet frames and removing all hardware to start degreasing like my past, but more on that later. We personally don't like removing the microwave or dishwasher from its built-in. We just mask them with plastic and tape and keep moving. It wouldn't make any difference like you in this world if you keep drinking, so stop it. Make sure to take the fridge and oven away from this area, no need to mask it. Keep masking everything you see that you don't want paint getting on, from light fixtures, countertops, windows, trim, walls if you're not painting them, where you get the drill. After everything is masked, then it's time for degreasing. We're about to clean the living pads off these cabinets. We use the crotch cutter degreaser, which is great for cleaning nasty residue of grease and other things I wouldn't want to think about during these cabinets that the naked eye can't see. Read the instructions of this product, but like I said in the past, following instructions is not really my forte, but don't say I didn't tell you to. Not try to go to jail here. So we apply the product via spray, then force it in with a microfiber rag and clean the excess. Do this step thoroughly. Remember that cabinets get a lot of grease from over the years, and anything you put on top of them, if it wasn't cleaned properly, will come right off just in a few months. And we don't want that happening, so make sure to clean them better than when your mom used to tell you to clean your room when you were little. I forgot to tell you that you can use plastic or paper to cover the countertops, but paper is always better if you're spraying on top of the island, since you might not have a spray booth. This is the most common way to spray. Also, make sure to name the doors and drawers. If not, you're finna start playing puzzle when installation day comes, and it'll take you days to figure it out. We start from left to right and mark them where the hinges you remove go with a Sharpie, since once you install back the hardware you can't even tell. We start left to right and mark them 1, 2, 3, etc. until the end, and then come back after you finish. Let's say the first top row ends at 15, then you start counting the bottom row at 16 until the end. With the island, you can start at 1 but put an I for island. And same thing with the drawers, start at number 1 and you can mark those in the back, since one installed no one can see. Next up is grain filling. This is preference. Some people like the grain fill to almost make a paint grade cabinet like smooth, but some people like the grain to show. If you decide to grain fill them, there are a couple products you can use. There's one called Aqua Coat, but you can only buy it online, or well, at least in my city you can't find it, but I live in the middle of nowhere between trees and forests, so you might have one near you. Second product you can use is a paintable wood filler. It's paste-like and dries pretty fast. You'll need at least 2 to 3 coats of this product, sanding in between coats and going against the grain. Read the instructions for details, but like I said, I'm not good with that. Following that is to decide if you want to change your hardware or handles before priming time. If you decide you want to cover up your handle holes, then use either bundle or wood filler. Bundle is harder and lasts longer, keep that in mind. Always do this step before priming unless the product doesn't have to be primed and is paint ready. We're using this main wax wood filler since it's paint ready and dries pretty fast. Once dried, sand down to 220 smoothers before my prime time. Yeah, I'm over that now, I'm too old. We also like to sand everything down quickly and vacuum it before priming, just so that way the wood is porous enough for the primer to penetrate. Before priming, you need to decide exactly what primer you need to use. Being the fact that you're working with stained cabinets, it definitely has to be oil-based or shellac. I personally like the shellac because it will stick without having to sand down the finished coat or varnish. You don't even have to sand down, you can slap it on and go smoke you a cigar. But if you decide to go with oil-based, that is fine too. We use the bin shellac primer that you can get at Home Depot for like $70 a gallon. I know it's pricier than my child support, but oh well. Or if you want to use a fast dry primer from Sherwin-Williams, which is about $40 a gallon, that should be fine too. Make sure to use better protection than Nick Cannon when handling this product, so your lungs might collapse mid-pen each session, and we don't want that. Get you a good quality M3 mask with good filters. Remember, your health is your wealth. Then decide if you want to spray them or roll them. Obviously spraying gives you a better quality finish, but it's up to you and your skills. Spraying is definitely harder, but we spray 95% of the time. If you decide to roll them instead, then use a 4-inch snap roller and a high quality fine finish brush to minimize brush and rolling marks, or you might look like your cabinets made it back from World War II. Brush the least you can or roll the most you can. If done properly, you can get a high quality finish that your picky wife will be the only one to notice it. So don't beat yourself over it. Also, if you're rolling them, you save a lot of prep time. No need to cover as much, only a tarp and some tape will do the job. So decide what's your best option, player. Well, prime the cabinets and let them dry at least 6 to 10 hours before sanding. Some primers say they dry in 45 minutes to the touch, but if you start sanding, most of it will come off, so the longer you wait, the better. After the cabinets are dry, then sand them down with a 220 sandpaper. Check for imperfections at this time. For any dents or scratches, you might want to wood fill or bundle glazing putty before second coat of primer. Apply your second coat and wait another few hours to dry. Sand them down again and make sure to vacuum and use a microfiber rag to remove dust particles before finish coat. If you decide to caulk them, this is the time now. Never caulk before priming session. Use a good quality caulk if you decide to, or with expansion and contraction the caulk will crack and look like crap. Check for more imperfections under the light and you're ready for first coat of paint. There are a lot of different options of caulks, from dab to 950 or 1050 from Sherwin-Williams to urethane caulks. The 1050 gives you about 55 years of durability, which I don't know who will really be able to tell if it lasts that long. If an average person buys a home at 30 years old, then 55 years later he's 85 years old. How in the hell would he be able to tell how long that lasted? I don't know. Let me know how they run this test, or they just fake numbers. We use Sherwin-Williams Emerald Urethane 95% of the time, but you can use your favorite cabinet paint that you like. There's a lot of good ones like the Rennet Waterborne or Centurion. Well, let me know in the comments if you want a video on what's the best paint for cabinets. After first coat is applied, then wait at least 18 hours before messing with the cabinets. We like to spray them laying down, since 99% of the time you have 0 runs. But you can also spray them hanging and get both sides done the same day, up to you. Get your friend the sandpaper and get to sanding again. Lightly. Don't discharge your anger on these poor cabinets, and then repeat this process again. If you want to do a two-tone cabinet finish, then you need to get your life together and evaluate your choices. Nah, I'm just kidding. But if you decide to paint the island a different color, then you need to paint that first, since it's easier to cover than the rest of the cabinets. After the island is completed, you can cover it with plastic and tape, being really careful since the paint might still have that cure, and get to spraying the uppers and bottom. Now, if you decide to do a 3-tone, then you really need to just know when it's too much. But if you do, always paint the island, then the uppers, and last the bottom, so no overspray from uppers falls on them. Once completed, wait 24 hours before handling them and starting to install hardware. I like to wait 2 to 3 days before reinstalling them to the frames for better cure time. If you didn't know, there's cure time and dry time. Dry time is when the paint is dry to the touch, and cure time is when it had time to fully seal and stick to the surface. Well, the next process is easy. Just install everything the same way you took it out. If you marked everything correctly, then this process should be easy and painless. If not, well, good luck. We did build this cheap cabinet drying rack. Let me know if you want a full video on it. It costs less than $100 to build, and it's pretty damn good to carry cabinet doors. If you put 4 wheels on the bottom, it's super easy to transport. We use 1/2-inch dowels, but you can make them thicker for better secureness, and 2x4 wood posts, way cheaper than spending $600 on a drying rack. After everything is looking fresh and new, then cleanup time it is. Throw away old paper, plastic, tape, your mother-in-law, etc. You get the point. Now I'll wait for your thank you in the comments below. I'm waiting. Yeah, I just helped you make money, a happy wife, and some beautiful fresh cabinets. Yup, you're welcome. Well, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and you're lucky because this video will teach you how to stain any wood like a pro, so you can make even more money. See ya.